Hello everyone, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, it's my Booktube birthday. So as of this week, I have been on Booktube creating videos for 8 years. Yeah, that is a long time. And yet at the same time doesn't feel like it's actually been too long. I have absolutely been loving making videos and talking about books with you all, so thank you so much for allowing me to do that. We are going to be doing a little book tag today, but I just wanted to first of all say thank you and really just sort of appreciate how this year has gone so far. I have been absolutely loving making the different reading vlogs that I've been doing and talking about obviously like my wrap-ups and the books that I've been reading. My TBR game, we changed it around a little bit this year and I had so much fun hearing about what you guys wanted me to pick for like the poll picks and things like that. I am planning on bringing that back again for next year. Again, maybe changing some of the categories around a little bit. I really like when we get to do like challenges or the poll picks where you guys get to help me pick things to read. Let me know if you have any suggestions on maybe some things that you would like to see either on the channel or on the TBR game down below, because I would love to incorporate some of your guys' ideas. I'm hoping to bring back more of the vlog series and stuff that I was doing. We have more plot twist cards that we could do. We did a couple of those this year. But yeah, it just 8 years again feels like a very, very long time, but at the same time, it hasn't. I mean, we've been on Booktube. We've been doing this since before my kids were born. You guys got to see all of that, which is mind-blowing in a way. And so again, yes, just thank you so much for being here and watching my channel. And I love every single comment that you guys leave, especially if it's like recommending me a book or, you know, things like that. The reason I'm here on Booktube was to share my love of reading. This is 100% more of a hobby to me than like a job, because it's how I connect. I mean, I did a whole cross-country move over a year ago, and even before then I didn't have like a ton of friends in real life, so being able to come here and talk to people through the videos here or through the people that I've met through here, and then also like on Instagram or things like that, being able to have those conversations and talk to people has really just brought me joy. So I hope I do the same thing for you guys. Like I said, we are going to be doing a little bit of a tag today because I actually did the Booktube birthday tag multiple times, multiple years in a row. So that, I think we're giving it a break for a little while. But I did see this tag over on Instagram. I do not know who created it, and I have not been able to figure out who the original creator was. But there was a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 tag where each category you do 5 of something, 4 of something, obviously related to books, and I just never did it over on Instagram. And so knowing that I needed to do something fun today, like I wanted to do something fun today, this is what we're leaning into. So the first part that we have here is 5 books I love. This was hard because I love a lot of books. I've done videos in the past of like my top books, my favorite books, my like, if you had to read like the top 100 books to read before you die sort of thing. Like I did one of those for myself as well. So what I chose is a lot of books from this year. Mostly I was trying to do that. So we went in alphabetical order by author just because this is how I have it pulled off the shelves. But the first one I have is A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. This is going to be sci-fi, cozier sci-fi. It is the sequel / companion novel to The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. And while that one is larger in scope of these characters going on a spaceship journey, this one is more closed. Smaller in scale. We follow 2 main characters, Pepper and Sidra. Both of them were characters we were introduced to in the first book, and this is like really diving into their present day or their backstory. And I really love these books, especially for like the character work that it has. Like I loved this one so much. It was so nice to read, sort of comforting in a way, but I was just like, I was hooked from the get-go. I think this author, Becky Chambers, is going to be like one of my favorites for that sort of character work. And so yeah, it just felt very cozy sci-fi and I loved every second of it. The next one I have here is Well Actually by Maisie Eddings. This is a book that I read as an e-arc this year and then bought myself a physical copy because I loved it that much. Maisie Eddings, I will say, has been hit or miss with me. I have a different book that I have given 5 stars in the past, which was The Plus One, and then I also read a different one, which was Late Bloomer, which I gave like a 3. Like, it just wasn't my thing as much, and I think it's because the ones that I've absolutely loved, including Well Actually, have this like mental health hard-hittingness in the middle of the romance. So this is one that is definitely a romance. I absolutely loved watching these characters come together. She was one of my favorite parts, the main character here. She's very snarky, very like sarcastic, and a little bit like off-putting in a way, but I liked that about her. Like, she puts up these fronts with the characters, especially like the other guy here, and it's sort of like a second chance. They semi-dated like in college and then slept together and he ghosted her, and so now years later she is like the host of a podcast and he was doing videos like on a TikTok-esque sort of platform, and he wants to now make it up to her because she sort of called him out. And I just absolutely love these characters. I really love the aspect of mental health that it did bring in here, and there was a part where I remember crying for like 30-40 minutes in the middle of reading, like not even near the end of the book, just in the middle, because of all the stuff that it was talking about. I loved this one so much. The next one I have here is The Prospects by K.T. Hoffman. This, I think, is still my favorite book of the year this year. Like, I have not really found anything that topped the feelings that I had for this one, even though the last couple I talked about, I read this year. I gave 5 stars this year. But this one, I absolutely love. This is a baseball sports romance. I am not a sports person. I don't really know much about baseball, but our 2 main characters are sort of rivals that get put onto the same team. One is trans and the other one is gay. I'm pretty sure. I don't think he's bi. I think he's gay. And they knew each other like in college, and then sort of went their separate ways and have now come back together. They've had that rivalry sort of thing. There's, again, very good mental health rep in here. Some of our characters have anxiety and ADHD, and I just absolutely loved the look into here. Like, the characters, again, it was the biggest focus. Like, I was rooting for them the entire time. I didn't know nothing about baseball, and it still sucked me into even the baseball type of scenes. Yeah, again, this is phenomenal. I want to read more by this author. The next one I have here is technically something that I read this year, but it was a reread this year, and at the same time, I keep thinking about it, and I needed to talk about it again. That is going to be Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. I think I read this one first back in 2020, and I reread it this year because this takes place near the end of October, going into the beginning of November, and somebody had posted that like on Instagram or something like that, where if you wanted to do a reread or a first time read where you're sort of reading it concurrently with the timeline of how this happens, that's when you pick it up. And you know what? I did. I listened to it on audiobook this time. I did not listen to it on audio the first time, and it still holds up 5 years later. I absolutely loved it. This is another one that does have a trans main character. Our main character of Yadriel is trying to prove himself to be a brujo in this society where you are either a brujo or a bruja, and the powers that you get are related to your gender as well. And so he is trying to prove that he is a brujo by helping a soul cross over, and he ends up finding Julian, who is a kid from his school that apparently died that night, and he is now trying to like take him under his wing and figure stuff out. I, again, absolutely loved it. It is sort of mystery paranormal, but it has a very huge undercurrent of romance in there. It is YA. I think it's the only YA I have on this list right now of the things we're talking about, but I absolutely loved it. And the sequel, which you can read this and it doesn't need to be a sequel, but the sequel is supposed to be coming out next year. And then the last one that I have here to talk about is actually my favorite book of last year, but I keep thinking about it, especially recently, and so I'm feeling like I need to do a reread. Voyage of the Damned by Frances White. This is a very pretty edition because this was the Illumicrate edition, although most of the covers look very similar, but I just love the like holographic nature. This is more fantasy, has a little bit of romance in there, but it's like a fantasy murder mystery. Our main character is on this boat ship with these like 11 other people who are all going on this like week-long trip to become the next like ruler, powerful, and by powerful I mean like magic wielders of their respective kingdoms in this larger land. And he doesn't actually have any powers. He is hiding the fact that he doesn't have any powers from all these other people. And on their way to this area, one of the people gets murdered. And he is now like, okay, not only do I have to hide the fact that I don't have magic, I now need to find out who is killing people, because not only did like one person get murdered, more people start dying. So it is very much murder mystery in a fantasy setting. Like I said, it is very like a romance focus as well. Like, it's not the biggest focus, but it was done really well in here. This is a queer normative world, which I absolutely love. And I listened to this on audiobook last year, which I think put it over the top for me because the audiobook narrator is Nathan Fode from like Our Flag Means Death and things like that. And he sold it for me 100%. Like, I don't think I would ever be able to read this physically by myself because it was so, so good. But I'm constantly thinking about this one lately. Like, I think I need to do a reread. Okay, moving on to 4 auto-buy authors. So this one I debated a little bit because I have some authors that I've talked about in the past as being auto-buy authors, but like one of them, I actually read a book / series from them that is new and different than what they used to do, and I didn't really like those. So I think if she ever writes more in that series, I'm not gonna buy those ones. So I'm gonna like move her off my list for now. And so the first one that I wanted to mention is Aiden Thomas. We just talked about Cemetery Boys recently, and so far I have purchased and read everything that he has put out, minus the sequel to the Sunbearer Trials. I do own it. I did buy it. I just need to read it. Because I think it's a duology, like that's the finale. I need to do that, but I have read everything that he has done. And I am so excited for everything he is going to do. He just announced a new book that's not coming out till, what was it? Was it 2029? But I'm already sold. Like, I need it. So, yeah, I will get everything he does. The next one that I have on this list is Jen DeLuca. She does romances. I have all of her Renaissance Fair romances. Apparently there's going to be a 5th one eventually, and I'm so, so excited for those. I have read every single one of those. I also have her 2 Boneyard Key books, which are the paranormal romances. I have not read those yet, but I did auto-buy them. I did. I pre-ordered them. I have them. So I need to do that. But like, so far, everything she does, I will be buying as well. The next one I have is Riley Sager. I have not read all of his books. I just finished one during one of the Clear Your Shits within the last like couple weeks that I thought was actually pretty good. I give it a 4-star. I do realize why it's one of his most polarizing books, but at the same time, I have still been pre-ordering every single book he comes out with, and I own them all. So like, again, auto-buying, maybe not auto-reading right away, but I do have them. And then the last one that I wanted to mention is a new one that I think is officially an auto-buy author for me, and that is going to be Kika Hatsapolu. I read Threads That Bind a couple years ago. It was one of my favorite books of the year. So, so high up there. I absolutely loved it. It's YA. All of her books have been YA, which is a little bit rare for me to put as an auto-buy author right now, but it had like Greek mythology sort of woven into it because she is Greek. And so I absolutely love that one. I have, again, the 2nd book in the duology, the finale, that I have not read, but I recently got her most recent book, Moth Dark, which is a different sort of fantasy romance-ish, and I really enjoyed that one as well. It was not a full 5 stars just because I wanted a little bit more from like the end, but it was very fun, very different, and I think I'm officially gonna call her an auto-buy author. Like, I definitely want to see what else she puts out. Okay, number 3 favorite genres. I think this is a little bit easier. I always say that my favorite genre is sci-fi. I am a little bit picky. I don't like it when it gets too far into like I have to explain every single science-y thing about it. I'm more about the vibes, but I absolutely love the sort of sci-fi nature, like the overarching sci-fi genre. I love that. I don't read as much of them as I probably could, so my highest genre that I usually do end up reading is fantasy. I love fantasy. Again, not really into like the hard, epic, high fantasy as much. Some of those are fine, but in general, just like a fantasy overarching genre, yes. Cozy fantasy, love. So yeah, fantasy is my like highest read genre, and then my next highest is actually going to be romance, which obviously we just talked about my like top 5 books for right now, and 2 of them were officially romance, and 2 other ones had romance in them as a pretty big plot point, even if I wouldn't necessarily call them the romance genre. So take that as you will. I love me some romance. Number 2, 2 places that you love to read. So I usually read in bed a lot. So that would probably be my favorite place. I have one of those like back pillows. And then I also end up reading a lot on the couch downstairs when the kids are just doing stuff. I would say the beanbag, but my kids have sort of stolen it from me. As you can... Yeah, like this, the beanbag you're sitting on right now. The kids have stolen it. And so because of that, when I'm in here, the kids are usually in here with me and I don't have a spot over there. So I actually don't find reading in here as conducive as other places. Although I do like being in here as well. So yeah, bed and the couch, anywhere I can get comfy with like pillows and blankets. Yeah. And then finally, one book that I promised to read soon. This was the hardest one for me because we're doing Clear Your Shit right now. I wanted to pick something for this category, this prompt, this number, that I would read by the end of the year, because to me that is soon. We have like, what, 3 weeks left? Ooh, a little bit less. No, about 3 weeks. And so I was like, I need to pick something that I know I should be able to fit in during Clear Your Shit and read soon. Maybe something that you guys have been wanting me to read. I don't know. This was a hard one to pick from because I have tons of books that I could have chosen. And so for this one, I picked something that I mentioned during my, I think my end of the year book tag, something that I was gonna try and read by the end of the year. Still have not. Something that I know a lot of people have read and loved. Something that I feel fits for December, the Christmas season. Something that I still have not read even though I should have. Lovelight Farms by B.K. Borison. Again, it fits the whole romance vibe that I like. This, I'm pretty sure, is a fake dating romance, which is one of my favorites. They're trying to, like, what, save a Christmas tree farm? I mean, come on. And yeah, it's gonna be Christmas soon. I actually have no idea if this is gonna fit any of the Clear Your Shit prompts. Although I think one of them later in the month, I think is like, pick a book you haven't been able to fit in any other prompts yet. So if it comes to that, we'll pick this one. But yeah, I mean, Christmas is going to be coming up soon. I haven't really read any Christmassy books or romances yet, even though I have a few. And I just feel like this is one of those ones that I should read this year because it's been a little while. And this is technically the start of like a companion novel series where other books are from other seasons. So like I sort of need to read the Christmas one to get into everything else, right? I'm picking this one. So I'm gonna be trying to fit that into Clear Your Shit soon. We are obviously still participating in the Clear Your Shit readathon. So far, so good. We're in the middle of week 6 right now, reading things that are supposed to be read during week 6, which is great. And so yeah, again, thank you so much for being with me, whether it's been a relatively short amount of time or whether it's been for the whole 8 years that I've been here. But again, thank you so much. If you guys liked this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos. I do have videos coming out Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So I will see you then. Bye.